Macefield accepted the mission and said she will not tarnish the first knight's name. But Catherine interrupted and said her mission should be to protect Her Majesty, and she should be the one to go for killing the Duke. But Milius said that dying can't atone for betraying Her Majesty, and an assassination stage belongs to him, and is not fit for a woman. He added that the fastest knight was Emmanuel, but now that he's dead, then he is the second fastest after him. Winifred agreed and said he too will join Milius, as they are childhood friends, and for a two-man team, no one is more fitting than the two of them. The Queen agreed and requested them to come back alive, to which they both agreed. The next morning, Alice woke up and is now fully recovered. Alice thought it was nice to have Merlin take care of her these past few days, and living with him might not be a bad thing. But she shook her head and muttered, he's a demon, so she never know what he might do next. She went down and found Merlin sleeping on the couch. She then went close to him for a kiss, thinking she should reward him for taking care of her, and that he won't notice. But before she could kiss him, Merlin sneezed. He woke up and asked if she's fine now, to which she said yes. Today is Merlin's turn to do the laundry. He found Alice's panty and asked, when will she stop wearing such soft ones? But Alice came running to snatch it from him and said she will wash her underwear herself. Suddenly, an old man with a child came and asked for some food. The old man said that they are refugees from the capital and hasn't eaten for 2 days. Alice brings some food and gave it to them, so they left. Merlin said that the Empire and the rebellion are fighting, so maybe Arnold won't make it back alive. Meanwhile, Winifred arrived at the front line and finds some of his soldiers dead. Then suddenly, someone rang a bell, and the demonic beast came from the back of the mountain and dashed toward them. Winifred tells his other soldiers to be prepared, as they are attacked by the Offer's family demonic beasts. And as Winifred was killing the beast, he thought it is strange, because the beasts are not strong enough to wipe out the entire vanguard. But then, he noticed a wind attack that killed all the soldiers in a second. An old man appeared and muttered, that's all the Empire's soldiers are capable of. Winifred asked if he's from the Black Wolves, but the man replied that he's not one of those worthless dogs. He then introduced himself as one of the Duke Offer's 4 elemental sword saints, Sword Saint of Wind, Akaz. Winifred was helpless in front of Akaz and wondered if a saint rank can really control this amount of mana. Even though he knew that he couldn't win, Winifred still decides to attack with his full power, but got defeated easily. He then starts to remember about his past life. He and Milius were childhood friends, and their dream was to become a mage, so they can protect this country and let every child sleep warm and full. Akaz then sensed some more soldiers nearby and thought of killing them, but he heard Winifred saying stop. Winifred stood up and said he will not let him hurt his friends. Winifred used his full power to crush Akaz along with him under his earth magic. Milius noticed the ground shaking, and a soldier informed him it's coming from the direction of Sir Winifred's team. Akaz was still unharmed and muttered he sacrificed himself in order to protect his friends, so he should let his friends live for that. But before leaving he said if they come to die, then he will not hold back. After a while, Milius found Winifred's locket under the rocks. The soldiers informed him that they didn't find any traces of Sir Winifred. Angered, Milius realized that Winifred burned his life to fight his opponent. He announced that the Offer family has powers beyond saint rank, and Winifred and his team have perished for the Empire. He added that this assassination is over and ordered them to go back to the capital, and informed Queen about the situation, and that he might not make it back. Milius muttered, wait for me my friend, and left. Meanwhile, in the Wrexham village, Merlin was disappointed, because there hasn't been any missions as of late. He then noticed a carriage outside his house, and wondered who is it. He went near the carriage and finds Cecilia and Kyle waiting for him. Cecilia greeted Merlin and said their visit today is for a request. But before she could finish, Michelle take off the hood and revealed herself. After a while, Merlin taunts Michelle and asked what she wants from this poor remote village. Michelle apologized for disturbing him and said her mother doesn't know that she is here. Merlin made fun of her and said, in a situation like this, Demon King or Dragon kidnaps the princess, and then the dumb heroes run to their deaths one by one. Michelle was not responding to his taunts and asked if she can request another mission. But Merlin said if she wants his help in defeating the rebellions, then she can leave. Michelle explained that they are running out of options, and the armies at the front line can no longer hold the rebels back. She started crying and said she doesn't want to lose her mother again. But Merlin still refused and said he will not get involved in anything related to war. He said they are adventurers, so they will not accept large-scale war missions, and tells the princess to go back. Alice shouted at Merlin for being heartless, but Michelle stopped her and said it is okay. She then apologized to Merlin for coming so late at night and left. Outside, Cecilia asked her if Sir Merlin agreed, but Michelle starts crying and said the Empire is doomed. Kyle said there's nothing they can do about this, because the destruction of the Empire won't affect the adventures much. Cecilia said Sir Merlin's temper is strange, but she firmly believes that he is not a heartless person. Otherwise, they would have died a long time ago. Inside the house, Alice was scolding Merlin for having no heart, because he can help the princess, but he is not. Merlin replied, from the current situation, the Empire could not give them any money, so why he should help them. But Alice still tried to convince him in helping the Empire. Merlin stood up and said no wonder she liked dealing with these things, because he forgot that she used to be a hero. Alice replied, yes, and that she also forgot too that he is a demon king, a threat to human society. Merlin laughed and replied, yes, he is a demon king, so he's not going to help humans. He said, things gained easily are not treasured. That's humanity's flaw, but the Empire won't be destroyed, because someone will act. Confused, Alice asked who that someone is, to which Merlin replied that the Empire still has a great hero, the Sword Master of Elgin. Then the next day, in a city captured by Offa Rebellion, Duke Offa was happy to know that the assassin sent to kill him is now dead. He praised his subordinate Gabriel to anticipate the Queen's move. He also thanked his old friends for providing assistance and promised that after he become the new emperor, their rewards won't be lacking. His old friends are none other than the four sword saints of fire, earth, water, and wind. Gabriel said it was all thanks to the Sword Saint of Wind, who easily killed the assassination team sent by the Queen. Sword Saint of Water said that no one can stop them, as they have even fought against the King of the Demons before. And as the Duke was enjoying and thanking all of them, someone destroyed the roof and jumped down. Duke recognized the man and shouted, he's the sixth knight Milius. Milius picked a cup and said he should also join in on the toast to victory. Gabriel laughed and said he came to die, because they have the four elemental sword saints on their side. They said if he wants to harm the Duke, then he will need to ask permission from their swords first. But Milius taunts them by calling them actors, who aren't beautiful. All four knights attacked Milius together, but got shocked after realizing that it was just an afterimage. Milius sneaked behind and dashed toward Duke to kill him. But to his surprise, his attack was blocked by the defensive magic. Duke laughed and said, so the strongest defensive rune indeed can block even a saint rank attack. Milius said, but that will only protect him once, and tried to attack him again. But then suddenly, his arm got cut by Akka's, and then all the other masters also attacked him. Duke laughed and shouted, it's what he deserved. But to everyone's surprise, Milius grabbed a sword from his mouth and jumped towards the Duke. But before he could kill him, Gabriel pushed the Duke and managed to save his life. Even in his dying moments, Milius muttered he failed, as he was aiming for the heart, not the hand. Several days later, the Queen was shocked to know that both Milius and Winifred died. She realized her mistake and said her naivety killed them. Then Duke Rose informed Elizabeth that Offa's army is about to attack the capital, to which she replied that she has a plan. At night, in the Duke Offa's encampment, Duke Offa ordered Gabriel to contact the Black Wolves group that has infiltrated the capital, that he want them to bring him the Queen's head. After a while, Queen announced that she will ask the Sword Master of Elgin for help, as it's their last option to win. Suddenly, Macefield noticed a magical attack directed towards the Queen. But the attack got blocked by Catherine's defensive magic, and Morrison cancelled the attack. Macefield realized an attack that needs both Morrison and Catherine to block, then the assassin is a saint rank. Macefield went to check outside and finds all the knights dead. Outside, the members of the Black Wolves were wondering if the Queen and her knights died from that attack. They then noticed someone dashing toward them. A man tried to block her, but to his surprise, she destroyed his shield with a single slash. Another member informed her that while they will stall her, their comrades will kill the Queen. At the same time, Catherine and Morrison were taking Elizabeth to a safe location. But then suddenly, Morrison noticed an arrow charging at the Queen, so he destroyed it. But to his surprise, the arrow managed to injure his hand. Duke realized that there are other assassins, so the earlier attack was to make them split their forces. Meanwhile, Macefield tried to go back to the Queen's side, but couldn't. Every time she defeats the members, someone heals them completely. The old man laughed and said, between the three of them, they have a warrior, a mage, and a warlock, so she's a no match for him. But suddenly, the old man gets shocked, because he couldn't sense his other member aura anymore. Even his last member aura stopped, so the old man wondered if there is any more opponent on the level of the first night. The man from before was shouting at his teammate to heal him quickly, but then someone jumped at the man. After the impact, all that's left was the dead body of the man. He was killed by the second Redbud Knight Seth. And when the dust got cleared, Seth apologized to Macefield for being late. Macefield gets happy and shouted his name with excitement. The other members of the Black Wolves shouted that the second knight went missing many years ago, and decides to run. But before they could escape, they were stopped by Seth and Macefield. Soon after, inside the palace chamber, Macefield gave the report that all 5 members of the Black Wolves has been eliminated. She then pointed at someone and said the situation was resolved because he arrived in time. Seth bowed in front of the queen and apologized for being unable to be her side sooner. Elizabeth was happy to see Seth and tells him to join the others. She explained that the difference between them and their enemy is too great, so she intends to invite a person to support them. Confused, Seth asked if she's planning to invite the old guild master Gregory, but she replied he will know when that person will arrive. In the Wrexham village, Merlin was complaining about Alice's temper to Hobbs. He then asked him if there will be any effect on them by this new ruler. And as they were talking, Luja came and informed Merlin that he got a letter from the capital. Merlin was going back home, thinking maybe that royal princess asked for his help again. He entered the house, and Alice called him the cold-hearted demon. Merlin tried to calm her down, but she threw him out and said he needs to stay out today. Merlin was reading the letter in which the queen was proposing a deal to him. Merlin thought it is troublesome and decides to not go, but when he read that she will provide him 3 million gold coins, he quickly agreed. He sneaks into the bedroom, kissed Alice and said watch the house for a few days, and he will be back soon. Alice woke up and looked around and thought Merlin was there a bit earlier. After a while, the queen was inside her room, thinking she really failed as the good ruler of the country. She thought no matter how strong Merlin is, but he might never participate in the doomed war. But then she noticed someone and asked who he is, and to her surprise, it was Merlin, who greeted her and said, "Long time no see, your majesty." Meanwhile, in the Offer encampment, Duke was angry because the Black Wolves got defeated easily. Gabriel tried to calm him down, saying they still have the 4 elemental sword saints. But Duke ordered him to send the command to move out, as he wants to slaughter them as quickly as possible. At the front line, the soldiers inform Duke Rose that the Offer's rebels have reached the capital. Duke tells Elizabeth about the situation and suggests her to move quickly, or it will be too late. Seth asked for the Queen's permission to go and deal with the elemental sword saints. Catherine whispered to Morrison that she is sensing some ominous aura from Seth. Elizabeth replied that she knows it's dangerous, but they need to wait for someone. And then, to everyone's surprise, Merlin entered the hall, dressed like a warrior. Everyone gets shocked to know that the Sword Master of Elgin is joining the war. Macefield called him a bastard and asked why is he there, but Elizabeth calmed her down. Elizabeth came forward and announced that from now on, the Sword Master of Elgin will be their most reliable ally. Seth said he know the Elgin's master swordsman is strong, but he will not help him in the battle against the rebellion. But Merlin insulted him and said he wants him to just stand back and cheer for him. Angered by Merlin's words, Seth challenged him to a duel. Elizabeth tried to stop Seth, but he apologized in advance and dashed toward Merlin to test his strength. He attacked Merlin with his full power, but to his surprise, Merlin stopped his spear with just 2 fingers. He then picked Seth along with his spear and threw him out of the window. Merlin jumped outside and asked if he admits defeat. But Seth refused to lose and decides to use his secret move. Merlin looked at Seth and gets shocked to see him releasing the aura of the demons. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe.